What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode. I'm Swiper Cam, and welcome to my channel. Woo! So, I just got done watching a barn burner. The Denver Nuggets played against the Utah Jazz on May 7th, 2021, and the Utah Jazz absolutely shot the lights out for a 127-120 win, and I'm honestly not tripping about the game. Here's the thing. The Utah Jazz announcer said that was a monumental win for the Jazz, a statement win for around the NBA, the statement win for the Jazz for around the NBA. And I thought that was so interesting. I'm like, man, that's a statement win for y'all. When the Nuggets play the Jazz, it's not a statement win for us. I mean, it's a good win. But I think one of the things that people are dealing with is Jokic is the MVP. He's the best player in the NBA this year, so beating him is a big deal. But then on top of that, the Jazz are still sour, still feeling some type of way about the fact that the Nuggets were the better team and beat them in the Game 7 last year. But I think it's interesting that the Nuggets are without Jamal Murray, Will Barton, Monte Morris, and PJ Dozier. So basically, not just they're starting 1 and 2, but they're starting point guard and shooting guard and backup point guard and shooting guard for all four were out of the game. So there was a bunch of situations where the ball control, entry passes, getting set. Shaq Harrison had some really bad turnovers in the fourth quarter. They couldn't hit any shots in the fourth quarter. There was so much stuff happening that if you have one of those four players in the game, really, if you have Will Barton in the game, I know he's not super popular, but what people don't understand about Will Barton, like Monte Morris, is he can get you set. Not only can he hit his shots, can he get to the basket, he's also a good passer, and he's a bigger body. So tonight, Bogdanovic had 39 minutes, 48 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. He was 16 to 23 from the field. He was 8 of 11 from the three-point line, 8 of 8 from the free throw line, and he was only a +4. He was only a +4 tonight, but he shot the lights out. He couldn't miss. And then who else was there? Jordan Clarkson tonight, 6 of 20 from the field, 6 of 14 from the three-point line. He was a +12 off the bench. The bench for the Nuggets wasn't great tonight. It was just really chaotic, man. There was just a lot of stuff that was happening around the Nuggets. The guard play wasn't great. Jokic got frustrated. You could definitely tell at the end of the game he had five fouls and 5 turnovers. I think it really wears on him not having, like, and Facu didn't play in the fourth quarter, so I don't know if he tweaked something at all or if he just felt like, Coach Malone went to go to Austin Rivers. Austin Rivers was shooting. He was going today. Austin Rivers had 18 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists, 6 of 10 from the field, 5 of 7 from the three-point line. He was a -12, but again, I can't really blame it. It's just the set. So tonight, for instance, they had to play Facu Campazzo at the 1, Michael Porter Jr. at the 2. They had to play Aaron Gordon at the 3. Then they had Paul Millsap at the 4 and Nikola Jokic at the 5. Huge lineup. And so they took advantage of a lot of that because now Porter is playing out of position. Porter really should be guarding the 4 in this situation, which would have been like Royce O'Neal or Bogey every so often. But tonight he was having to face up against anywhere from Jordan Clarkson to Joe Ingles, and it was just kind of messy. So it wasn't the cleanest transitions across the board. But again, man, Nikola Jokic tonight, 35 minutes, 24 points, 9 rebounds, 13 assists. He was 9 of 11 from the field. He only missed 2 shots tonight. He was 2 of 2 from the three-point line and 4 of 4 from the free throw line with the block. But I think, again, people say, well, maybe Jokic was tired today because he wasn't being as assertive, but I really don't think that's what it was. I think when he has to not just deal with the scoring, but the fact that the court wasn't really all that spread out. And then on top of that, Utah is just a long team. And so they were just giving him some difficulty, but nothing crazy. I mean, Rudy Gobert had 14, 9, and 2 tonight, and he was a -2. He had 2 blocks, had a really big block in the fourth quarter against Jokic, but I think Jokic really got fouled in that too. Tonight, as a team, the Jazz shot 48%. The Nuggets shot 52%. The Jazz shot 6 more shots. The Jazz for 21 of 46 from the three-point line. The Nuggets for 17 of 38. The Jazz for 20 of 23 from the free throw line. The Denver Nuggets for 17 of 20. But the Nuggets had 17 turnovers, and that's what I mean, guard play. Guard play. Shaq Harrison, bad turnovers tonight. Austin Rivers had a bad turnover tonight. I mean, let's even look at it. Austin Rivers had 3 turnovers. JaMychal Green had 2 turnovers. Shaq Harrison had 1 turnover. JaVale McGee did not play well. He was a good body inside. He deterred some shots, but he shot like an 18-footer today. That was just made no sense. They weren't really getting in great sets. Offense was still flowing tonight. It was just, again, not only was the Jazz hitting, but it's just funky when you have players displacing out of position like that. And then let me see. Jokic had 5 turnovers, Facu had 2, Aaron Gordon had 1, Millsap had 1, Porter had 1. Porter had 2 steals, Facu had 1 steal, Gordon had 1 steal, Millsap had 1 steal. And Millsap played well, man. Millsap had 19 points in a start with 1 rebound, 2 assists, 7 of 10 from the field, 2 of 4 from the three-point line, 3 of 4 from the free throw line. He was a -3. Aaron Gordon night in 30 minutes, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 5 of 9 from the field, 0 of 3 from the three-point line. He's just not hitting his threes at all for the Denver Nuggets, and hopefully that changes with the steal and the turnover. So, it's not what you want. It's not the ending you want. It's not how you want the game to end. There was just a lot of stuff that was happening. I mean, even in there were some calls today, like Facu Campazzo got called for a 3-point foul against Jordan Clarkson. He had his hands all the way up, but again, his right arm came down just ever so slightly. And then Michael Malone, this is the crazy thing. Michael Malone was on the bench. Jordan Clarkson missed his first free throw, and Michael Malone, I guess, said to himself, "Ball don't lie." Just said "ball don't lie" to himself, and then the referee teed him up for that. I'm like, what? You gonna tee him up for that? So, he had 4 attempts at the free throw line. Jordan Clarkson didn't. He only made 2, so it ended up working out. But it just was like, man, some funky stuff. And MPJ was just lights out today. 31 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 10 of 19 from the field, 4 of 9 from the three-point line, 7 of 7 from the free throw line. He had 2 steals, and he was a +3 on the night. He had the highest plus-minus on the team tonight. Defense wasn't super clean, but again, him guarding Joe Ingles, who's a point forward really, having to guard Jordan Clarkson, having to guard Bogey on the night when he was just going off like that. I mean, again, it's not like he wasn't making effort. It's just sometimes he's so long and he's so young. He's still figuring out like body placement and all that other stuff. But really, honestly, tonight, no one played defense. 127 to 120. Remember, y'all, they scored 89 against the LA Lakers just a few nights ago. And they just scored 31 more points than that. So no one played defense. I think the thing is about this team is that they're going to be really good. I think that if the Nuggets got a series with the Utah Jazz, they could still beat them. But they're going to need Monte Morris. They're going to need Will Barton. And it's just going to be interesting how they spread the floor and how they kind of figure out just the schematics of the defense of Jazz. The Jazz play drop defense. They're famous for drop. They never bring Rudy on hard hedges. All they do is make sure Rudy is back, protecting the line. And Jokic does a good job of drawing them out. And by the way, Jokic had like a step back 3-pointer tonight. I thought was hilarious. He's just doing whatever he wants on the court right now. It was a really good game, man. And then back-to-back games from Austin Rivers, 18 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists. This is the same Austin Rivers that he was 21% or something like that on 3-pointers before the last game. Had 25 against the Knicks, and then he puts up 18 tonight. And that's what you need. And that's what I meant about Austin Rivers coming to this team and playing. You need Austin Rivers to play. You need him because you have to have shot creation and scoring. But what it really, if anything, what this game does, it just saddens me because I know, D. Mitch is out because of his ankle. But having Jamal Murray out the whole year, you just look at it, you're like, man, if we just had a point guard, like the free throws that Austin had at the end of the game, you only made one of them. I mean, that would have been a 3-point game at the end. You could draw up a play, get MPJ a shot. You can get Nikola Jokic a shot for the 3-pointer. You can get one of them. But, it's just you're missing that dynamic. You're missing that on-ball just isolation. You're missing that shot creation. You're missing that 2-man game with Jokic. So there's so much of the offense that's out of place. And you're also missing somebody reliable in the game where you can give the ball to Jokic and you can clear out, or you can do 2-man, or you got somebody in the guard and Jamal Murray that can get his own shot, ice the game himself. And you don't have that right now. So, and Porter doesn't yet have the shot creation ability to do that consistently yet. So there's just a really big hole in this team. But I do think having Will Barton and Monte Morris is going to make a big difference. I think if PJ Dozier would have been here tonight, that would have been better. Bogey is bigger than him, but, PJ is 6'6", but he's also very long and he's still strong and extremely agile. And Bogey was being guarded by Paul Millsap most of the night, or JaMychal Green. Aaron Gordon was on him some. Aaron Gordon didn't do terrible on him. You know, there was a period where they trapped him in the fourth quarter, and Aaron Gordon got a steal or caused a steal, and Austin Rivers got the steal. So there's plenty of opportunities in this game. It could have went a lot better. Again, I'm not really concerned about it because right now the Nuggets are now locked into that 4 seed, and the Lakers are sitting at the 6 seed. So right now it looks like it's going to be Clippers and Lakers. But again, right now the Lakers are playing, and the Lakers are up on Portland 69-68, so we'll see who wins that game. So the Lakers could either fall to 7 tonight, or they could stay at 6. And again, it makes it ever more likely that it's going to end up being the Clippers at 3 and being the Lakers because Dallas is winning as well. So again, it's not what you want. You don't want to ever have a game where you don't win. But y'all, we got tomorrow night, 10 o'clock, or depending where you are, 8 o'clock Colorado, 10 o'clock on New York, or 7 o'clock in Cali. Man, you're going to have a game where you got the Brooklyn Nets, and James Harden probably still going to be out, but Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and that's a 24-hour turnaround. So, you know, we're going to see. It's going to be a really good game. Again, not the result that you wanted tonight, but again, Michael Porter Jr., 31-6. Then you had Nikola Jokic tonight with 24, 13 assists, and 9 rebounds. Really good games, but again, you're missing that guard play. So hopefully we can continue to improve there, y'all. But anyway, we're going to be right back here tomorrow. I appreciate y'all, Swipe a Gang. I'll see y'all soon.